Hey, it's Lomatini lit up, and here's what I'm lit up about. I'm continuing to do my chronicling of my life and my comeback from hell, from death, if you will. And I have to kind of wrap up a couple of things here I wanted to talk to you guys and kind of put out there. The last couple of pods have been, I've been teasers and stuff like that. And the last one was about the real estate broker and unsure whether or not they want to bring me on board because of some people's concerns about what happened to me back in March. And I find it really interesting that people that want to be worried about me or worried to be around me or have me part of their organization, I really don't want to put that out there because I really just want to have love in my heart and I don't want to have any sort of issues. There's a bunch of brokers out there, and if it ends up being with that specific broker, then, that's God's plan. But there are a lot of brokers. My license is still active and I will be selling homes for somebody. So I just wanted to put that out there, and that I didn't want it to be a Debbie Downer, and that I don't want my comeback and make all of my chronicling to be negative, but there is going to be bumps in the road, and there's going to be some problems, and there's going to be some trials and tribulations. And I want to share those because my point of being and doing this is to help others not go through what I went through. And I got to give myself a break. I've been only out and about for 2 weeks after being gone for almost 4 months in a place where I wouldn't recommend to anybody. And we don't even need to get into how you're treated and what you're like in a situation like that. So it's not even something I want to mess with. But it was rough, and it was tough, and it's very lonely, and it's depressing, and it's not a place. You have got to dig deep into your soul to find peace, to find grace, to find some sort of calm to survive. And I found it through Jesus Christ. And I know I talked about this the other day, and I talked about another podcast, and people always tend to find Christ in their worst moments. But isn't that what Christ is for? That's why he existed, why he came here, for the people that were downtrodden, that were having troubles, that were sinners. He came and laid his life down for us. And so, of course, you want to have Christ in your life when you're doing well, and thanking him for your abundance and thanking him for your all the things that you have. But he's also supposed to be there when you aren't doing so well. And that's when you need him the most. And I found him, and I have probably a better relationship now with him than I've ever had, and I'm very proud about that. So what I wanted to also go over is really what this is going to be about. It's going to be about my daily struggles, my daily successes, my comeback, and all of those things. Because it wasn't that long ago, guys. I should not be here, and I am here, and I'm going to make the most of it. One of my mentors, I love this guy, and I know if a lot of you guys might know who this guy is, Grant Cardone. Certain people in my life in the past didn't care for him too much, but I love the man, because we used to work together many, many years ago, and I just love what he's created in his life. And he has got a book out that I loved. I probably have read all of his books more than once, about the 10X rule, about living your life at a 10X level. And basically, in a nutshell, living your life at a 10X level is when you know that you have to achieve a certain goal and what it's going to take to get to that goal, do it at a 10X level, 10X it to guarantee that goal. So it's one thing to say, okay, if I do A, B, and C, I'm going to get this goal. But he's like saying do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G to guarantee that goal. And so what I have decided to do in order for me to achieve what I need to achieve at 55 years old, so what I have to do at 55 is much different than a guy that's 35, because I'm starting completely over, 100% over. I'm not afraid to tell you. I have zero money in my bank account. I have a job and I have a car. I have licenses, and I'm ready to roll. I've been back at the job, and it's been very It's been very comforting, meaning that it's there and there's people that love me. And we talked about that last night, and we don't need to talk about it again, but there's 3 different people out there. There's the ones that absolutely embraced me, loved me to death, put the armor around me, helped me up, get back on my feet. People that can have empathy, that understood what I was going through, depression, anxiety, loss. Then there's the people that want nothing to do with me. And it kind of broke my heart there for a few minutes. But there's some people in my life, especially Alex, who, man, I love his personality. I just listened to him talk to one of his coworkers about people and about what I talked about last night in the last podcast about people and human beings and their limitations. And there's the ones that don't want it. Like I said, there's the ones that don't want anything to do with me. And it broke my heart at first because I've considered them really good friends. And you develop that relationship through cutting their hair and spending time together. And I haven't got a single text or call from the majority of them. And ones that I really thought were my friends, and I'm not going to mention names. I just wish them well, and they're not part of my life. And they're doing me a favor. They're doing me a favor. And this is the thing that I love Alex about. They're doing you a favor. Why would you want to be around somebody that doesn't want to be around you anyway? Whether it's your marriage, relationship, friendship, coworkers, why would you want to be around people that don't want to be around you? So they're doing you a favor. They're not your people. I'll give Greg Pease a little shout out on that. You got to know who your people are, and those are not my people. There's 7.3 billion people in this world. There's 365 million, I think, in the United States. Do you think there's another one out there that could be replaced? Next man up, next friend up? Yes. Next friend up. Then there's the third one that we talked about that they really don't, they're too busy with their own lives. I got a lot of messages from people that were kind of watching my social media accounts and asking me, what happened? What's going on with you? Well, see, there's the third group of people. They too busy with their own lives to care about what's going on in your life. And that's okay. I'm totally okay with 1 and 3 and number 2, see you later. But I wanted to chronicle what's going on and share those things with you without feeling like I can't share it with you. And I want to have that relationship with all of you out there, because I want to be able to, if I have one thing I can say out of this mouth into this mic and into this camera, if I can say one thing that's going to help somebody get through the day without doing what I did to myself, this has been a success. I'll repeat that one more time. If I can say something out of my mouth into this mic and say it into this camera that will change somebody's perspective for the day so that they don't end up doing something like I did, this is a success. And that's what we're going to do. There's a lot of things that are happening that I haven't even touched on yet. We've got the Parkade still exists. It's still a viable 501c3. We just finished the taxes and got everything up to date since I was on vacation. Lomentini, the name, the brand is still rolling. Hey, it's got a little ding to it. Look at Trump. How many dings does that name have? And he's still rocking and rolling. I'm not trying to compare myself to Trump. I'm just saying, hey, you know what? You just continue to roll with your brand and keep moving forward. Now I've got something to share. I've got some actual seasoning to it now that actually has a little bit more deeper value to it. And then we're developing an app. Here's what I really am excited about, and I can't wait to give you guys more information about this app. And because when you're going through depression and when you're going through anxiety and you see therapy, one of the things, even if it's AA or Alcohol Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or whatever it is, they want you to have a support group. And support groups are absolutely huge, but they're only good if you call them. Hey, so let me repeat that. A support group is only as good as you'd use them. If you don't call Joe or Jonathan or Mark or Alex and say, hey, man, I'm having a hard time, what good are they if you don't call? So we are in the midst of developing an app. And it's kind of like, a lot of you guys know what my Booksy app and stuff when you want to book a hair appointment. There's 2 platforms. There's the end user, the one that wants to book the appointment. Then there's me who sees the appointments that come through. a very good friend of mine and a client of mine who has still remained a very good friend of mine and a client of mine. Love him to death, Ray. He is an AI, and I'm excited about this idea that we've come across where we'll get into more detail later, but I want to kind of just broad stroke it real quick, where they developed this ring for the NBA, and it has a lot of sensors in it, like a ring that you wear on your finger. And it has a lot of sensors. Okay, let's get back to that. There's a ring that you wear, and it's got a lot of sensors, and it keeps track of everything from like your breathing rate, your heart rate, body temperature, various things like that. And it was a big thing back in COVID because what they were trying to do was take all the information, develop an algorithm, and that algorithm would let them know that, hey, this guy might have COVID symptoms, COVID problems. And so they would isolate him or do whatever they were doing. So we're going to take that same ring and develop a way to develop an algorithm for people that are going through problems like me, where let's say my heart rate was out of sight, or my breathing was so erratic, and my body, whatever. So what it would do would alert the support group. So if I'm going through my problem, because I know for first, when I said they're only as good as if you call them, right? Well, when you're in a deep depression hole and you're in darkness, you don't want to call anybody. I don't want to talk to you. I could have reached out to a gazillion people before I ventured out onto my O.J. Simpson moment and shut down the highway and all that other stuff. It was unnecessary, but it was something I did because I was in that dark hole. But what if through the ring and through the algorithm and through that app, the support group was notified? So on their side of the app, a little heart goes off or something that says, hey, Patrick might be having a problem. So they could either text me, they could either call me and say, hey, bro, I'm trying to mow my lawn. I need some help. Or hit me indirectly like that versus trying to say, hey, man, are you trying to kill yourself? Whatever. If it takes me out of the rhythm of what I'm trying to do with hurt myself, then it's an accomplishment, right? So my point being is, what if the support group was able to know there might be an issue and they reached out to you first? And that's what we're looking to do with this app. Super stoked about putting this together, because there's a guy that I saw his commercial while I was on vacation, and it was on an infomercial, or I think he was on the news. And I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. He had something very similar, but it was a helpline. It was a anonymous text line for people that are going through problems like I was going through, where you can call or text, and it's got people on the other side that will talk to you. And it's anonymous. There's no commitment. Nobody knows who you are. And he kept statistics about, suicides and the lack of, or I'm not saying this right. I'll be editing this. He was talking about suicides and the lack of attempts and how many they were able to divert and various other things and how many people call. And it was amazing. But still, as I am pointing out, they still have to text. They still have to pick up their phone and call somebody, a support group person, on the text line or whatever. But I'm saying we're going to develop an app that will alert the support group and have them give you a call. And if after, let's say, 3 attempts, after 3 different people from the support group can't get a hold of you, then the police are alerted for a wellness checkup. It's a brilliant thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's going to take a lot of work, and I put it out there, so we're going to get this done. And then, of course, I keep talking about this book I'm writing, and it's a tell-all. I don't even know if it'll sell, but I'm going to get it published. I'm going to get it done. There's a lot of things about my life I want to get out there. I have 38 years of crap to talk about. Ever since I was 16 years old and left my mother and to live with my father, broke my mother's heart. That was the first woman's heart I broke. And I kept breaking them ever since. So 38 years later, here I am. And let's get it out there. That's what this whole thing about chronicling my life is. And so what am I doing today? I'm getting I got a really busy day at the shop. I'm here at the office waiting on UPS to deliver some packages. And then I'm out of here, go to the gym, grab some lunch, go cut some hair, and probably do another podcast tonight to let you know how my day went. But I appreciate everybody that's following me. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm currently, I think, at 34, 35 subscribers and on my way to 1 million followers. So you got to start somewhere. I'm going to get there. So much love to all of you. I promise not to be so negative on some of my pods, but it's part of it. And like I said, I want to repeat this one more time as I leave. If I could say one thing out of my mouth into this mic and into that camera that might change somebody, that will help change somebody's day from doing something like I did to myself, then this is a success. Much love. Peace out, everybody.